transplant to a patient with acute liver failure. And more recently, Alberta's first and Canada's third living lung transplant was done right here. Alberta's leadership in organ and tissue banking is firmly established. Edmonton's Comprehensive Tissue Centre is the only Canadian centre that is accredited with the American Association of Tissue Banks. And this hospital established the first umbilical cord blood bank in Canada to support leukemia treatment and research. We recognize medical practice and research builds on the sharing of knowledge. And today's announcement continues and enhances that commitment to collaboration. In most areas of healthcare delivery, jurisdiction is clearly defined. But when it comes to the need for an organ, there are no boundaries between Canadians. A kidney from Halifax can mean freedom from dialysis for someone from Vancouver. A heart from Calgary can save the life of somebody in Iqaluit. The effort to develop a national donation and transplant system must also be shared. It took all the provinces and territories and the federal government working together to bring us to this day. Ottawa is making this announcement in Edmonton, but in every capital, from Victoria to Halifax, Whitehorse to St. John's, shares in its history and in its future. To conclude, in our role as chair or co-chair for the various committees over the years, the province of Alberta has been very pleased to be part of those discussions. With the National Secretary based here in Edmonton and the National Council headquartered here, we will continue that leadership role. I also ask Albertans to continue to lead by example in research, practice, and by signing their organ donor cards. The Capital Region is a leader in all of Canada. Minister Rock referred to the 14 per million that is the national average for organ donation cards. In Alberta, it's 17, but in the Capital Region, it's 25. So I encourage people to sign those organ donor cards and speak with their families about their commitment. And I thank you very, very much for having me here today. Thank you.
Morrison of the Canadian Liver Foundation. She is also co-manager of the Advisory Committee on Organ and Tissue Donations Public Awareness Campaign to speak to us. Karen?
I'd be 6'3". My next slide. In order to increase Canada's organ donation rate, the House of Commons Standing Committee on Health made 18 key recommendations to the federal government. One of those recommendations was that Health Canada organize a national organ and tissue donor public awareness campaign. Health Minister Alan Rock selected the Canadian Liver Foundation to lead a national public awareness campaign on organ and tissue donation in conjunction with Health Canada Partnership and Marketing Division. Working closely with that division as a co-manager, we assembled a national advisory group of experts on organ and tissue donation to help develop the campaign's components and to act as a sounding board on all content and creative concepts. We call ourselves Partners in Organ and Tissue Donation. We developed a partner's logo, share your decision, that you'll see on all the materials that we have produced. A family joined together by the green ribbon, the international symbol of organ and tissue donation, and a slogan, share your decision, share your life. That important message to talk to your family about your decision to be an organ and tissue donor. This is the first time that all these groups have collaborated on a focused, integrated national awareness campaign. The object was not to reinvent the wheel, but to use the combined experience and resources of the partners to create a national unified campaign. Our advisory group includes members from the regional transplant programs, the BC Transplant Society, HOPE here in Alberta, the London Health Sciences Centre, the Atlantic Multi-Organ Transplant Program, as well as the transplant programs in Yukon, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. It also includes stakeholder organizations, Canadian Association of Transplantation, the Kidney Foundation of Canada, the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, Organ Donation Ontario, and the Canadian Liver Foundation. Our partners also include representatives of donor families and recipients, as well as critical care personnel, transplant surgeons, and ethicists. We had quite a group. But what unites us all, what moves us and motivates us, is knowing that there are 3,700 people in this country today who are waiting for life-saving or life-improving organ and tissue transplants. During the campaign, we expect to reach millions of Canadians with the message, "Organ and tissue donation works." 100,000 of our posters entitled "Organ and Tissue Donation Works" will start appearing across the country next week, featuring 5 people whose lives have been saved or enriched by organ and tissue donation. Canadians will be able to get an information brochure at all Walmart stores in Canada and through the Loblaws chains in Ontario. All of these campaign materials are designed to tell Canadians about our website, the centerpiece of our awareness campaign, the National Organ and Tissue Donation Information Site, www.organandtissue.ca. Visit it today. At the website, Canadians can get answers to their questions on organ and tissue donation in both official languages, read stories of heartbreak and hope from donor families and transplant recipients, and connect to information on how to register as an organ and tissue donor, no matter where you live, as donor registration procedures vary from province to province. Canadians not connected to the internet can access information on organ and tissue donation by calling 1-800-O-Canada. We are also very proud and excited about 2 events planned for our National Organ and Tissue Donor Awareness Week, which is April 22nd to 29th. On Saturday evening, April 21st, local television stations in Canada will air a special primetime program, a documentary about organ and tissue donation called Share Your Decision, Share Your Life. The 1-hour presentation will feature organ donor families, transplant recipients, as well as show dramatic footage of a transplant operation. It will also highlight some of the work being done by our partners and of the exciting new advances being done here in Edmonton on pancreatic islet cells, a tissue transplant, which potentially can cure diabetes. The Right Honourable Adrian Clarkson, Governor-General of Canada, has graciously accepted to be patron of the National Awareness Campaign on Organ and Tissue Donation and will host the National Gift of Life ceremony at Rideau Hall in Ottawa the morning of April 23rd. During the Gift of Life ceremony, the transplant recipients featured on our Organ Donation Works poster will present Her Excellency Anne Minister Rock with a signed poster.
111, Station 5, G4. 111, Station 5, George 4. 111, Station 5, George 4.
That's not me. We hope that this first, as you can see, the poster is behind me, and those are the recipients. They will all be in Ottawa next weekend. We hope that this first national public awareness campaign on organ and tissue donation inspires Canadians to consider the critical shortage of organs and tissues for transplant in this country, to consider the thousands of fortunate people whose lives have been transformed by organ and tissue transplants, and to consider the very special families who have shared the gift of life. I would like to thank Minister Rock for giving me the opportunity to work on such a vital issue affecting Canadians today, and for his support on such an important cause. And to the partners, thank you. Thank you for your support, your diverse ideas, your knowledge, and your experiences. It has all been invaluable. Many of the components of the campaign were only possible due to the collaboration and generosity of you, our partners. No egos, no turf wars. The photos on our poster were from BC Transplant and CAT and London Health Sciences. The green ribbon pins that will be presented to members of Parliament and to members of the national media during Organ and Donor Tissue Awareness Week were initiated here in Canada by the Canadian Association of Transplantation Project 4 years ago. It is that kind of collaboration and teamwork that has made this project a success. The following example of our unified team is the Kidney Foundation of Canada. They have generously donated their Candle campaign video to the advisory group Agree